happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Ken Bozak.
Wait, there we go. Are we live? Yep, we're live. Everything is working. Yeah. There we go. GM in the afternoon. This is not another Bitcoin podcast. How goes it? I'm your host, Ken Bozak, with my co-host, as always, my bro, Double O Tats. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Still out here in LA, man. You know, Double O Tats, the Black James Bond. You know, putting the end to the dollar, doing these crypto tats, man. Loving it, bro. You know, glad we had a guest today, man. Mr. Military. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's he has like the hardest name I've ever had to try to say.
Give it a shot.
Far.
I gotta hear you try it.
Uramel.
That was good. I take it. It's got an extra syllable in it. Yetta Miel.
Yetta
Miel.
Yeah, it's like Yetta with a D. It's Hebrew. I'll tell you what it means real quick. The compassion of God. So think about love. It means love. That's what it means in Hebrew.
Yeah,
I love the name. It looks like a tag though. You know what I mean? Like from Philly. So back in the day, people would like throw up some bombs. That looks like a straight Confucian tag. Like somebody would throw up on the side of a bus and just take up the whole side of a bus with their tag. It's a cool looking name. It looks
Imagine
like
how when I actually have to sign it, it takes quite a bit to write the whole thing out.
Yeah. I guess let's start at the beginning. We'll finish at the end and we'll enjoy it. You know, in the meantime, let's start there. Why don't you introduce yourself to the audience? Let them know a little bit about who you are. Let us know how you got into crypto and what you're doing now in this space with plastic.
Oh, man. You know, Brother Ken and Double O Tats, I appreciate this opportunity, y'all. You know, just a real short, brief background. Ex-military, as you can probably tell by the tone a little bit. Went into business for my I know everybody's like, you know, the military bearing doesn't typically flee. I went through a pretty gnarly particular type of training in the military. I flew on AWACS, airborne communications, a little bit of a tech background. And I suffered a really gnarly spinal injury during my training in SEER school, which is Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. So if you can picture what a POW is when you have things happen to you, the DoD does a training called SEER that's a very small fractional percent, typically around a little less than 1% of the military goes through it, had a top secret security clearance. and suffered a really bad spinal injury, was paralyzed on the left side of my body for quite some time. Ended up having some hardware put in.
Damn.
And
Hey,
after the
I got
military,
hardware in my spine too.
so you know the feeling, man. The
Yeah, bro.
legs,
20,
the
20 screws,
hands,
20 rods. Yeah, for sure. I get it.
everything. It's a constant state of pain that you just learn to deal with, unfortunately. So
Exactly.
I
Yeah. People
go
ask me
ahead.
how's your back feel, and I'm just like, I don't really understand what it's like to not have pain. So it's just like I'm dealing with it. Like I don't really, you feel me?
Mhm.
I get what you're saying, bro, for sure.
You know, it's like having tonight. It's like I don't know what silence actually sounds like. Because the ears like gunshots. So my ears are like
Mm,
nonstop ringing. I don't know what silence really is. So even when I
that's
meditate, it's always this high pitched e that I'm hearing.
oh wow.
So
That's
so
like gotta
To
suck.
you and all the other vets, thank you for your service, sir. Much
uh,
appreciated.
much love, man. I'll tell you what, my perspective on things is slightly different than I was in 20 years ago. But nonetheless, I'm grateful to have been called to something that I felt led to do at a certain time in my life and was able to experience what I did. I'm glad I was able for the most part, mentally come home. Many are not. Um, Aside from the injuries, I learned a lot through this training that taught me to be pretty much a human lie detector. Some intel side with it. The POW training was, aside from physical, it was mental stuff.
Yeah.
And when I got out of the service, I went directly into the medical field, oddly enough, and started doing orthopedic neurosurgery and spine surgery, orthopedic trauma and neuro. The neuro side
That's
was focused
fire.
on spine. I was not a surgeon. I was a surgical assist. So when you watch movies and TVs, it's the person across from the surgeon helping them. That would have been me. And
Scalpel.
say again, the scalpel.
Scalpel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, pretty in-depth stuff. I've been elbows deep inside of people's stomachs. um, so
Oh
I
god.
I know, right?
Oh shit. Oh shit. That
After
is spooky.
after spending 10 years in that industry, I dealt with a lot of mental trauma from people because of my size and being a male in that type of atmosphere. I was pretty large. I'm a pretty large fella then. I was about 6'3", 225, pretty big boy. And I ended up getting out of that because I was sexually assaulted by my superior, my bosses. So it actually sent me into a dark, dark place. I was dating who I'm married to now, been together with my bride nearly 13 years, and it put me in a dark hole where I couldn't find a way out, and I wanted out. So I attempted to make a way. Racked a slide, pulled it, everything, and it was didn't intend to tell a story. Um,
Take your time, bro.
it was the turning point in my life where I was pushing so hard to make what I wanted to happen and tried to cover all the pain that I'd felt for so long. But when I pulled that trigger, who's my wife today was literally standing behind me in that very moment. She watched me experience it all. She experienced it all. Poor woman. Um, but I was sitting in a bathtub when it happened because I didn't want to leave a mess for anybody. That's how much I think of others than myself, right? So I had walked into the other room, and everybody has their own journey and they use their own terms in life. And I have a background as a pastor, but that doesn't mean that I speak only one language. I speak so many different languages in the sense of the essence of what love is, the origin of that. And some call it God or Father, some say universe, some say energy, source, whatever that word is, that thing that connects each and every one of us as human beings on this wonderful planet. I literally, in my mindset then, I looked up and I was like, clearly I'm not supposed to die. You got something big for me. So I got into the business world, became an entrepreneur. My background went from real estate, which I'm still in. I'm a real estate investor, real world investor. I do build houses. I used to work for a pretty multi-million dollar firm as their flipper. So I had my own construction company with crews. And then I got into the hemp and cannabis industry because cannabis was a medication for me after I stopped taking what the VA gave me. Learned a lot about the science behind that in the human body, about the endocannabinoid system, the ECS for the human body, about what it does with the limbic system, the cerebral cortex, all the different functions of the body, not just THC, but as well as the entourage effect, all the different cannabinoids, flavonoids, the terpenes, and how they work for the body. And then
Yeah.
I was
It
actually,
sounds like you know the difference between endo and outdo.
yeah, very much more, brother. And I'll say this: it may sound like there's no way somebody's done this much. I always tell people, if you just go to my Facebook and type my name, you can Google and see my name. I'm not hard to find. You can literally go add me on Facebook. I keep it private, but if you added me on Facebook as a friend, you would see all the pictures of every industry I've ever been in. When I'm talking indoor, outdoor, man, people have never seen farms the size that I've been standing in. These are because they were legal, massive, gigantic grow operations, farm scale. And I
Hell
got
yeah.
into industrial equipment manufacturing. I used to build processing facilities for creating pretty much, so like if you dab and you get an extract, you want live resins and you want something that's formulated. I was the person that built the factory that was an ISO certified facility using equipment to be able to do chromatography, isolation, extraction, whether that's, using, we're not talking about using propane. I mean, we're talking about like water extraction, ice extraction, ethanol, okay, just not super good. But I was in that industry for about 6-7 years. I got more so involved into the environmental aspect, and this is what led me to what we'll get into here. Is I got involved into industrial hemp processing at scale, and it got me international. So I actually still to this day own rights to the U.S. for a particular European tech to build building materials and process fiber at scale to be able to have homes that are sustainable, that are not with our normal building materials. And Europe, I spent a lot of time in Europe and China, and Europe is the leader in a lot of these things, especially with them being a green, nation, if you will, because of the protocols and laws they have in place in comparison to what we do in the U.S. And this is why I say, like earlier, I said my mindset has shifted a bit from my time in service. I think our country is a very prideful country, unfortunately, and I say this because we think we're the best at everything, which means we have judgment in our hearts against others. Like we always we say, oh, China builds crap, and yet we have supercomputers in our hands that are mostly made in China. These aren't phones. Alexander Graham Bell created the telephone. These are supercomputers, literally in the palms of our hand, and we call them a telephone. It's wild the level of technology we have available to us in the palm of our hands today. And the hemp industry allowed me to see about the supply chain throughout the world. It allowed me to get involved with different governments. My company, when I was in hemp, was one of 2 stateside companies that got invited by the Chinese government to go speak at a convention to explain to them about industrialized hemp and sustainability. So during that time, let's just call it 2017, 2018, and 2019, I was told about this cool thing called Bitcoin, and I was in a fear mindset and laughed at some of my friends and said, it's the mark of the beast. I had hundreds of thousands of dollars I could have bought with Bitcoin back then. Did I do it? Nope. I laughed at my friends, but I will say
Womp
this.
womp womp.
Yeah,
Look
is
who's
it or is
laughing
it?
now.
So I say this part right here all the time, I'm never one of those. I'm all about the vibes, right? I'm all about what's in the heart. Do things really happen for a reason? To teach us lessons? Does the universe present things to us at a time it's meant for us? Or God, if you will, show us things that are meant for us when we're prepared and can steward them accordingly? I think that's a fact. I believe that I was protected from acquiring such wealth at an early age, or I was in my early 30s, so I wouldn't say early age, but at a certain time where I was not mentally prepared and my heart wasn't in alignment. because I would have probably done something with it that I shouldn't have, and I would have wasted the money.
I completely agree with that. Like I completely agree with that mindset. Sometimes we're not prepared mentally for the success that's apparent, to the point to where, you know, we might not achieve that success because we're not mentally prepared. And if we did achieve that success before we're mentally prepared, we could ruin our whole life with that type of success.
I fully agree with you, Double O Tats, and I'll tack on with that with this little thing here. Many people that are, it's weird what money will do to people. I've seen millions of dollars hit a bank account and be like, okay, cool. What do I do with this? That's how I look at it. So for those who don't know, I'm autistic, and I'm diagnosed as autistic and tested savant level. So my brain works in a very different way than most people. And I don't experience certain emotions that people do. Not like I'm a sociopath. It's just that I don't go through, because I use more logic. So I don't go through certain things that people do. Like if somebody saw, oh my goodness, I have $3 million in my bank account, they're going to hit this weird euphoric panic state. What do I do? It's like in crypto. Oh my goodness, God candle, 50x, what do I do? My body doesn't go through that. So when I saw the numbers, it's like, how do I make this grow, and what can I do that's good with this to help other people? And I say that because I live a very frugal lifestyle. I've had any lifestyle I've ever desired, praise God for that, what I realized in the long run was that I didn't want anything. I didn't need cars and clothes and people's, oh man, look what you're doing. You're doing so good. Like that doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is the imprint that I leave, the positive impact that's left behind, the positive ripple effect that I leave, not a turbulent wake behind me, but a nice, slow little ripple that carries people forward and up the stream, if you will, and being the man behind the scenes. And I'm not one that needs the attention, although oddly enough, I know that I'm being placed in a position now with what's being created that's going to force me to be in a position of attention. Yeah. So the transition that I ended up going from wanted nothing to do with crypto, multi-years of business, my spinal injury got to the point where I couldn't even do business anymore. I started farming and became a farmer. So I started doing homesteading during COVID. I built a fully sustainable property, off-grid, water harvesting systems, had my own livestock and stuff, lived off my land. And then I bought another piece of land and started growing produce for my community instead of just myself, because my skill set, and I'm like, why don't I just scale this? Because it's harder work for me to do for just me, but I can scale this and do more for others. So I did that. And then even doing so, then I realized I still feel incomplete. There's still something missing. Something's not right. What am I supposed to do? So being in real estate and stuff, I began to start traveling and scouting different real estate properties. But this whole travel has been a healing journey. I realized I still got to heal. I've got traumas that I'm trying to heal from, that are rooted in so many things. So then all of a sudden I landed into the crypto. I bought into like XRP in 2024, like September of 24, got into like Aerodrome Finance. I didn't actually buy Bitcoin because I paid attention to percentage and opportunity of growth. So I was able to buy the bottom of Aerodrome, sell the top, buy the bottom again, sell the top again, made some money, and then rolled into what I found out were called meme coins, and then I lost $50,000. So,
yeah, man, $50,000.
Yeah, so that's going to be a beautiful. So I finally realized about how taxes worked with crypto. I forgot to sell all of my losses. So this next year, it's going to look really good on my write-offs, because I didn't do it last year. I was like, oh, you have to complete the transaction to claim the loss. Sold, I'll take the loss. Why? Because I want the write-offs. I understand tax. I don't pay taxes. Taxes pay me. When you're in real estate, you learn how the tax system works. You usually don't pay, it pays you. Most don't understand that. Now you guys know. So
well, now we know a lot, man. I wanted to dive into what you're doing now and basically what you're actually building when you're combining the plastic token, plastic impact network, and the GEIS.
Yeah, man, so the first part, like, is plastic the token on Solana, right? That's the ticker, plastic, and it's called Plastic the Whale Killer. And I ended up CTOing it because I felt something. I felt that calling. I wanted nothing to do with memes because I lost a lot in it. But that same spirit, that same guidance system that led me to where I got in my life said, buy this token. So I bought it and it rugged. And then I bought more and more and more. And then I saw these people and I was like, plastic, plastic. I was like, this is like symbolic. I love numerology. I love symbology. I love esoteric studies. I have a significant biblical ancient text background. So I was like, plastic, why is this sticking in my head? And then I felt like the symbology of it. I was like, wait, plastic is like, for one, it's in the ocean. We have statistics from just scattered around, especially the UN, who's trying to get a plastic treaty right now that shows that by 2050, we'll have more plastic by weight in the ocean than we'll have sea life. I'm just like, this is not good. This is really bad. I'm a pescatarian. I eat fish as my main source of protein. So I'm like, this is really bad. And I understand science. I'm like, we know not to take a plastic jug of water and put it outside in the sun and drink the water. Why? Because it leaches chemicals into the jug of water. So if there's plastic floating in the ocean.
Whoa, shit. I didn't know that. Hold the fuck up. Damn.
You didn't know that?
Hell no.
All right, we're going to give you some education, Double O Tats. We're going to give you,
Bro,
we have to pause.
In a box, in a cage for a few years, man. I listened to a lot of education, man. It's crazy. So you saying if you leave a bottle of water in the sun, the chemicals from the plastic will melt into the water, and you drink that, you be getting the plastic chemicals in your body.
Yeah. Also, not even just the sun. If you leave bottles of water in your car and your car gets hot enough, the plastic will get heated up to a point that the plastic is basically cooking into your water, and you're drinking plastic water. Like 100%. If you leave water in a car and drink it, you're definitely.
I did that, bro.
Well, this is why everybody on planet Earth that's a male has plastic in their testicles now. I mean,
bingo.
I heard that before too.
So
get it out.
Let me tell you. So Ken, you're a wise man because you nailed that one. So Double O Tats, let me tell you this. He's right. And if it's in a plastic, there's certain types of plastic that don't leach, right? Like we have heavy duty, they do to some extent at certain temperatures, but those temperatures don't usually get met in normal real world instances. That's why you have like those big giant blue thick plastic containers that you can get and hold water in long term because no light penetrates. But regardless, it's still plastic. It's HDPE plastics or yeah, that's correct. And ultimately, even a Gatorade bottle. So what he is saying about it being in the reproductive system of male and females, think about this, brother. I got one for you, Double O. You go to the gym, right? You go to the gym, don't you?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. Do you wear those sweat wicking shirts so that you don't sweat, the plastic polyester shirts?
Oh, I do got like one of them like extra cool dry shirts, like
What about the boxers you wear? Super stretchy so that you don't sweat? A lot of breathing room?
Don't tell me about my drawers, man.
No, hang on. Walk with me. You wear that kind of stuff, right? We're all men. Most men do. Because we don't want to sweat. It wicks sweat and it dries fast. But check this out. What's the biggest organ in and of the human body and on it? Do you know what that is?
I know.
Yeah.
Your skin. So if we know that heat,
epidermis.
If we know that heat applied to plastic causes that plastic to break down and can get into the bloodstream, what does that tell you about the hottest part on the body aside from your armpit would be the groin area, about the plastic we're wearing wrapped around our gonads, around our reproductive system, as well as the shirt that we're wearing when we're standing in the sun. Even though we're sold that, hey, this is from recycled plastic, it's a safe new alternative to wear. well, many people know not to put on certain sunblock anymore because of the chemicals in it, right? We know that because what? Skin is an organ. So if you're wearing plastic, by logical sense, you can only conclude that when it runs through the washing machine, the plastic breaks down, which means it even breaks down further, which makes it easier to get in the bloodstream. If you were to go to the doctor right now and have them do a blood test to see if there's actually plastic in your blood, the answer is going to be yes. You can look this up right now. Is there plastic? Why do you think that the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. literally a week ago came out with Stomp? STOMP. Hashtag Stomp right now in any social media with Robert F. Kennedy, and you're going to see the level of knowledge they know about what plastic does to the human body. Okay,
Bro, that's
it's
scary,
literally
bro.
it's made
what
world
is
news.
So what is Plastic Impact Network doing for my balls, bro?
So here we go. So Plastic Impact Network, we got different levels. Okay, so let's do it like this. I'm gonna pop over just so some people can see some visuals. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump over and we'll pop on this screen right here. This is just a convention that I'm gonna be going to. It's called EarthX. But what I'm gonna do is Plastic Impact Network.
You know, that's really dangerous to do that on a live stream. Pornhub's
Yeah, I
gonna
know it
pop
is.
right up.
I ain't got nothing bad on there. I don't search anything wonky. So get this. This company right here, Plastic Impact Network. You look at this ecosystem right here. The ecosystem has the Plastic Impact Protocol, which is by Geis. If you look at this graphic here, you'll see Plastic, the token. That's the public blockchain community token. Then you see PIN, Plastic Impact Network. That's the refi, regenerative finance, right? We know what that term is. And then we have what connects from that, Geis, real world infrastructure and protocol. So Geis, give me just a moment, and I'm going to pull up Geis. We're going to do this the proper way this time so I don't do the typing because I didn't have that already up. So now Geis versus the token, which is plasticthewhalekiller.com, okay? So plasticthewhalekiller.com is the website that is what I would call the central hub for the plastic token. The plastic token, which is that cash tag right there, okay? When you go here, plastic itself, so this is going to be the walkthrough. We're going to start at the base and work our way up. If somebody were to go and buy a plastic token right now on the Solana blockchain, we have tokenomics. Every one of these tabs takes you to something, and it'll take you to the website that has the wallets. It's public wallets. So I just clicked it, and you can see this is a donation wallet on SolScan, okay? So all of this stuff is public information. What we have done with plastic is created a flywheel using potato tech, and we're upgrading our tech. Every 15 minutes, there's a burn. Every 1 hour, if you own 0.1 to 0.5%, we've done 15 million burn already. So that means we're just under five. If you're just around 1 million to 5 million tokens, you get 20% paid in Solana, airdrop to that wallet. Means you can have multiple wallets every hour. If you're a whale holder, which means 5 million tokens or more, you get 49%. You also get entry into the whale chat and the voting room, which allows you to vote on what? What's the voting thing? The dev fee. I don't take a penny from this token. I don't take a single thing for it. Everything that's been built has come out of my own capital. There's nobody else. This dev fee wallet, as you see here, is 100% donated to community voted charities. Those are charities that are doing good deeds in the world. We donate 100% of the dev fee, which is 30% of creator rewards. All of these numbers add up to 100%. As you know, with Solana blockchain, you get creator fees. So then we have this next thing, the top part. So Plastic, the token, all of its IP, its branding is owned by Plastic Impact Network. That's this company here that we started with, okay? Plastic Impact Network, part of the ecosystem. Okay, so remember, this is the branding that owns the token. The ecosystem, which is what we talked about here, is all three: the token, PIN, the hub, and then Geis. So if we click on Geis here, so we were just at Plastic, but now we're going to click Geis and go to this Plastic Impact Protocol. This is Geis. Geis is, now this is where an explanation will come into place in a second, but Geis is the company that I built that has multiple owners to it. This is what is called an SDVOSB, which means it's a service disabled, veteran-owned small business. I am a 100% disabled veteran. My Chief Technology Officer, Julian Wally, is a 100% service disabled veteran. We also have another owner, our Chief Operating Officer. She is not a veteran, but nonetheless, she's an important part of the team. That is Miss Heather Katz. And then we also have some other folks that are with us on this that help with things, and the team that we have within that. And that's ultimately our team of advisors. So if we click on this little tab here called Plastic Credits, most don't know what this is. Many have heard the term carbon credit. So I'm going to connect a dot all the way from where we're at now with Geis and what it does with plastic credits, all the way back to the plastic token on Solana, which will show you, well, why would somebody want to even own the plastic token on Solana? So plastic credits are registry issued units of eligible plastic impact created by under our Plastic Impact Protocol. So there's a full protocol here. I'm not going to do this now. I know you saw this, Ken. You saw this, and people can do this. They can download this document. I encourage anybody to go download this document right here. It is this here. When you download this document, I encourage every person to download the document, run it through any and every AI you can. When you do that, I also want you to go back to the plastics page, and I want you to click on the light paper. And I want you to download the light paper. I've got a version 4.0 that's coming out tomorrow. When you download the light paper, you can see this breaks down the businesses. The community layer is Plastic and Plastic CTO. The business brand is Plastic Impact Network, called PIN, and it tells you there that it owns the branding and IP. Then we have the protocol layer, which is Geis, and we have what it owns. It owns the Plastic Impact Protocol, and it is the onboarding and recycling logistics cleanup, and everything that links them together are literal, legal licensings and partnership documents that are internal. So we have literally created the partnerships between these. Now, with the Geis side, this is where it gets super serious, because many people create tokens. Many people create what they call an impact token. Many people create a token where they do something to give back to the world. I think we all agree with that. They try to do something in their way. And some is to give back for children's hospitals, or to help other people that are suffering from certain diseases, or to provide support in some things. And what we have chosen to do with Plastic is the token itself, with those tokenomics, that 30%, we already donate 30% of the rewards to whatever the community votes on for a nonprofit. And then what we've done with Geis being the top company because there's certain laws in place where you can't have certain things connected in certain ways, right? Because of laws. What we did was we made an internal agreement with the owners and said, you know what, guys? We like what they're doing over there. So when we mint and sell these plastic tokens, and I'll explain that here in a minute, from Geis, a plastic credit, when we mint that and sell it to a corporation, most people don't know why they would want to buy it, and I'll explain that. A portion of that money is going to, for one, it's going to go pay the individual people that did cleanup. So imagine you, Ken, imagine you, Double O Tats, and you're sitting there like at your house and you're got plastic and you separated it and then you logged it through a DApp and you're like taking a picture and you're like, man, look what I'm doing, yo, check this out. And the next thing you know, every so often you're getting a paycheck, you're getting something in the mail, or you're getting an airdrop of some USDC because you did the right thing.
Hell
You
yeah.
didn't
Okay,
throw,
not to cut you off, but I'm really curious about who verifies that plastic. You know what I mean? That's being claimed.
You know, that's the key question right there, my brother. And I'm glad you asked that because, you know, verification is literally the biggest issue that honestly it's plagued the world with what credits are. So initially, plastic credits are supposed to be what's called third-party verified. In the United States of America, which I think all three of us are, we have federal regulations in place. We know that for like carbon credits. And there are entities that are put in place that are certifying entities that are ultimately, they met a certain form, regulation and framework, and they got built and created, and they are now a governing body, if you will, for a certain industry. We have that for carbon credits. To be certified credits, you must do this framework and get certified by this company. There's no company that exists in the United States that does that until now. What we see throughout the world are some companies that are certifying companies. I hate to do this, but I got to make names to make it make sense. One of these companies is called Verra, Verra. Verra is what many call the gold standard. But in order to get them to certify, you have to pay a lot of money. An example. One certification can cost anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000, give or take. Imagine if all you had was one truckload of plastic that needed certified, and the value of the truckload before you paid everybody was $7,000 to $8,000. How would you be able to afford the certification, third-party verification? You couldn't. Well, since there's no laws that mandate people to do so, they don't do it. So who certifies it? Under law right now, it doesn't matter. Anybody can. So that's the kicker. That's the sad part. But me, you know, as a savant and as somebody that is just designed to do things the right way, I can't not do what's right. I must always speak the truth, and I have to show the truth, even if it's not about money for me. It never has been. So, and I think that's what makes me dangerous in business. So now I'm going to show you this document.
I love this, man. I really love this. Straight up.
Much love to you, brother. I appreciate that. And that warms my heart to know that what I'm sharing is good. I know you guys can see this in my own PDF stuff right now, but I want you to see this because this is the bread and butter. I'm going to show you some statistics, okay? So remember, I'm a visionary. You know, Elon Musk is an autistic savant visionary. I'm not claiming to be like Elon. That dude is like leaps and bounds beyond me when it comes to tech. But I have my own niche, okay? You can see this here. The plastic credit market is broken. Geis built the fix. When I scroll down here, I love statistics. I love numbers. It's the evidence. It's the proof. It's what we need to see. When I scroll, I'm going to scroll to this right here. What every organization got wrong, documented, named, and source. Geis conducted, let me explain this. I'm going to leave it here for a second. Listen, let me tell you how I did this. Let me tell you how my brain works. I found every company in existence in the world that operates in plastic and eco credits. I found the leaders who are the ones that claim to be the governing bodies, the one that certify. I found the laws. I found the places that these businesses are located. I found the public available data, open source information, because a lot of these refi companies provide their stuff open source. Why? Because in this type of industry, they want more people involved, which is a positive thing in this type of business. You don't want to close people out. You want more and more to do what's right to help save our planet. But what I found is disgusting and astounding. So what I did was I reverse engineered. If we already know that we have a certain protocol in place in the United States government for how carbon credits are issued, but we don't have the regulatory framework yet for plastic credits, and we already know that the UN is pushing for a treaty, and RFK just came out with Stomp, and they are realizing that plastic is rough stuff. It's not to say it's all bad. Like, it's not just going to go away. It's in our phones, but it's single use and how we dispose of it. That's the problem. I'm not trying to scare everybody about plastic, but it's how we use it, where it's used, and how we dispose of it or upcycle, because you can't recycle. Only 9% of plastic is actually ever recycled. In America, it's 5%. The rest of it, incinerated.
Hey, what about plastoline? I know you heard about plastoline. We know about the guy that created the plastoline machine.
So let me tell you that. So that's called pyrolysis. Pyrolysis, unfortunately, is not a feasible way to create a plastic credit, because here's why. The process to take plastic to fuel creates an emissions that's worse than if we left the plastic alone. That's not saying it's not a good thing. It's amazing, but at scale, it offsets what we're trying to do. It comes in numbers game. While it does work, this is where I study law in my spare time. So while it is true that we can take plastic and create a fuel, when we measure, this is the mathematics, and verify the offputs of the process and then scale that, we find out that we're putting off more into the atmosphere than what we're doing if we left the plastic as in its original state. There are multiple forms of pyrolysis and taking plastic to another state without using heat, because the heat with plastic is the problem. That's when fumes, just like when a house burns down, we use PVC pipes today in most American homes. They don't use copper anymore. So when a house burns, we have dioxins that get into the air. Those dioxins are toxic. I have a lot of friends that live in places like Nigeria, that live in Singapore, that live in Indonesia. And these 8 million plus people a year die from the air that they breathe. It's because we burn. We call this waste colonialism. And that's what I'm going to get in with this.
Yeah, man, you know way too damn much, man. Like, when they say ignorance is bliss, I know you stressed out, bro, because, bro,
I'm not.
What? That's crazy. Like, to hear all this, it's just, I'm flabbergasted and floored and admired by the fact that you able to, contain all this, compartmentalize.
Oh, I lost
you muted yourself at the end there. There you go.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, when
No,
you went out to emergency. But yeah, I was just saying, like, I admire your mental fortitude to be able to compartmentalize all this and distribute it in a way that's, in a way that you able to keep your mental health, and still, like, bro, that's what's up, bro. Like, cause, bro, I'm stressed out hearing it.
So I'll tell you what, man. It's taken me many years to not allow the way my brain works to be in control of me. Autism, ADHD is a form of autism. I'm highly active autistic. I'm not nonverbal, but my brain, what I found, like, I don't have to be in crypto. I don't do this to make money, because I don't need to make more money than what I already have. I'm an investor and I have cash flow assets. I don't need crypto. I've never need. That's why when I lost 50 grand last year.
There are a lot of people that do, man. And, speaking of the way your head works, my head works in game theory. And I can't help but think how to be a bad actor, because that's the only way I can protect myself from bad actors, is like,
you have to
sort of be a sheep with the mentality of a wolf. So you know how a wolf thinks, so you don't get fucked. Right. So what prevents bad actors from game theorying the system and faking impact data and extracting value from the system?
Easy peasy, bro. Easy peasy to prove. And I'll show you that here too.
Because like the
So
first thing
that's
that came to my mind is like I'll just throw plastic out the window, take
right.
pictures picking it up, and then when you
Yep.
paid me, I'll just use the same plastic I picked up, dump it out on another highway, and do it again.
Yep. You know, that was one of the biggest questions that popped up. And I'm like, you know, for one, it's the hearts of men, right? You can never change the hearts of men. They have to do it on their own. There's never going to be a foolproof system that stops people from doing something they shouldn't do. No matter what law we put in place, we know that that doesn't even work. So it comes down to the systems and verifications checks. And that ultimately is like this. Let me read through these little things right here, like additionality. These are going to cover some of those things. From Vera, 83% of plastic offsetting projects lacked additionality. They were already operating before credits were issued. That's not okay. We built mandatory independent barriers to prevent those things. Okay? So revalidation is required at renewal with a baseline. The failures that they have, they incinerated, 86% incinerated in cement kilns. Only 25% of all plastic credits were actually done from recycling. 75% of the credits that were sold were from incineration and processing. This is literally, this is data from one of the biggest exchanges, PCX. You can look them up. We have annexes that we designed as architectural gates. These gates prevent certain things from happening, like what you just brought up. For one, no VPK, no recorded, and no plastic impact credit PIC may be issued for any advanced recycling or incineration-based pathway until GEIS publishes a formal activation notice with tech specified emissions. This goes into play with the stuff with pyrolysis. We have to be able to prove about going from state A to state Z that it didn't have an offset that was negative. The next part is the auditing side. This is how we confirm, did somebody actually just dump it and take a picture and move it somewhere? No. This is how we fix that. So PCX, which is an exchange that people sell plastic credits on, 60% of net zero certified records had no third-party auditor. That's from Break Free from Plastic. Now, no third-party auditor? That means they literally internally themselves can just say, yep, we did it, we did it, we did it. No.
Oh, show me how to sign up for that free money.
Exactly, right? That's what we did with this section here. It's volume-based compensation for validators and verifiers. So we have independent people that we pay to validate and verify that those credits are legitimate. The reason we do that is to prevent what's called greenwashing and replication. A 5% major discrepancy threshold creates a published quantitative tripwire. We have another appendix that requires verifiers to be able to assess field to facility reconciliation. That means, let's say, Ken, you decided that you and your neighborhood got together and did a trash pickup. And you guys all bagged it up, but each individual one of you wants to get paid. So you have an organization that started it and you sign in with our DAP underneath them. You're like, my name's Ken, I'm logged in, and today I'm working with Neighborhood Cleanup Number 1. Neighborhood Cleanup Number 1 logs
All right, well
all
then
this.
how the hell do I create a homeless army of people that pick up trash? Because they're always doing that already anyway.
Hey, I
You nailed
swear,
it.
I'm already.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the answers. Here you go. Hey, houseless friend number 1 and number 2, 3, 572. I know you guys want to make some money. You guys are already doing this stuff anyway. Most of the world doesn't really understand what you guys do in your free time. I love you and I see you. I want to help you. I know that you may not actually want a house and that lifestyle because you love being free. But what if already what you were doing, you're able to not just leave an impact that most don't even see, but you're able to make a name for yourself and generate revenue in the process. All you got to do is download a DAP, and you already have a supercomputer. Can you download a DAP on your phone? Create an account, log in, and log this information. Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. Where do I take it? It'll tell you where your local hub is. Take it to that hub spot. You'll give you a receipt, log the receipt. you're going to get an airdrop of money into your crypto account. What's crypto? Oh, let us teach you. We'll onboard you. Let's show you about Phantom Wallet. My brother Ken has a pretty amazing video that shows you exactly how to get into the Phantom Wallet.
Yeah, he's killing
Okay.
it, bro. And everything.
All right. I visionary. So now let's look at this next part. This is what disgusts me. This is the main reason I'm in this industry. I'm a worldwide thinker. I got to watch the time. What we got? I got to hurry up. 100%. Listen to this. Waste colonialism is when a country that is wealthy like the United States takes their trash that they don't want to deal with. Plastic is the biggest one. Think of a whole bunch of mound of computers. If you go to Google and see foreign countries have mounds of like computer keyboards and monitors, and then they burn them, it's because we paid them money to take our trash because we don't want to deal with it. That's waste colonialism. We pay third world countries to take our trash so we don't have to. 100% of all major plastic credit operations, I'm about to name these. These are the major companies in existence today: Vera, PCX, Plastic Bank, Repurpose Global, Clean Hub, Ton, Empower, and BV Rio. Listen to this. This is what blows my mind. They concentrate their collection burden exclusively in developing nations: Philippines, Indonesia, Cambodia, India, and so on. But here's the question people don't ask. If we know that 60% of the credits are not audited, and we know that 86% is from plastic being burned, and we know that 100% of these companies are in these foreign countries that don't have equipment and money to process, well, wait a minute. What's happening to all that plastic that they're telling us they're picking up? Oh, they're burning it in those countries.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that doesn't stay in those countries. You know, that air moves. There's a whole highway of air, and it comes all the way to us. It
Take it to the next
from
level.
Indonesia and Brazil and everywhere.
Here's your next level.
All over.
When you burn a campfire, you set a fire and you burn. You come back the next day, it's soot. You look on the ground, you see a powder, right? Imagine if you had a mound of plastic and you burned it. Everything that could not be dissolved in the flame, ultimately nanoparticleized and put into the air, does what? It sits on the ground. What happens when it rains? It gets into the soil. What happens underground? Don't we have rivers of water underground? Oh, so you telling me that all my plants, my trees, my food is all going to be pulling from its roots the stuff from that plastic that's in the ground now? Oh, so I'm eating it. Oh, wait a minute. I live next to the ocean. So when it washes away, it gets it. What's equilibrium? Isn't that when we reach an equal state of one thing to another, like food coloring and water and stir it? Now we've reached an equalized state. So what happens if we increase the amount of plastic being burned on the soil? Wait a minute. If something is in the air and it rains, do those particles disappear, or do they get brought down to the surface of the ground or the water?
That's the next generation's problem, man.
That's what we need to stop. That's what we're here to prevent. That's our children. Those are the ones that are going to die because we keep getting worse. That's why the stats even show by 2050 is when the ocean, we have more plastic in the ocean than anything else. This little last bit, I'm going to give
this is the long play for a world war scenario. Is, you don't have to drop bombs if over a long period of time you can
nailed it.
Ruin the soil, ruin the water, ruin the quality of life, ruin the air. At some point, there isn't anywhere for people to have a battle on a battlefield because the battlefield is toxic, right? So they
can't breathe. So the chemicals from this plastic when it's burned is literally by chemical makeup, by the molecular structure, is the same thing as Agent Orange. Not kidding. Look it up.
Familiar with Agent Orange? Is that
massive stuff? That's shit they're using in Vietnam War and shit, bro. Like that shit deadly. What the fuck?
Now listen, I'm going to make these three last statements and then I'll stop talking. GEIS is the only plastic credit program in the entire world with a published, versioned, auditable governing protocol. GEIS is the only plastic program built on U.S. licensed, federally regulated infrastructure. GEIS is the only plastic credit program with a formal individual participant record schema, meaning how everybody gets to be involved in it. So now, what does GEIS have to do with the plastic token? Anytime GEIS takes plastic from a place where it shouldn't be to a place where it should be, we can mint what's called a plastic credit. I sell this plastic credit to a company. I can do this now. I can literally sell these in advance with my protocol. I can go do it today. And we will be the highest priced ones. Why? Because we're the only ones that are legally verified based in the US. No other company in the world. So I sell those, call it, let's say $800 per plastic credit. That company gets all the data connected, who picked it up, what it was, where it was located, where it went. They need that in their reports. Then a portion of that, we pay the people that picked it up, we pay the transportation companies, all the logistics, and then we also pay the plastic. How? Increase the liquidity through Plastic Impact Network. It all comes into a full circle. Last little bit. Where do the people come from? Aside from me being the founder and CEO of GEIS, I'm also the chief operating officer of the TreeGens. I built the TreeGens Foundation that is their nonprofit organization. We have multiple nonprofit organizations based in the US. The first chapter is in Florida. One of my business partners, their family members, owns an MRF. That's a receiving facility. That's a recycling company. They own the recycling company. We have trucking companies. We have landfill owners. We have the process in place to literally take it from A to Z to mint the credits, to sell the credits. IBM buys these credits already. Pepsi-Cola company buys these credits already, but they buy them from companies that have been incinerating the plastic. And we're going to change that. Why? Because the next generation is dependent on us. And GEIS is here as we are the platinum standard.
Sure. Fuck yeah, man. I mean, well, how do people get involved? If somebody wants to get involved with plastic or GEIS or, everything that you have going on, where do they go to follow you and get involved with the community and participate?
Getting involved in the community is the biggest thing. So let's say it depends on what they want to do. For example, if somebody's wanting to get into crypto and trade and get in the volatile meme space, get the plastic token. That's what that does. That's the one on Solana. Just look at plastic. You can go to plastic CTO page, join the community. We have a lot of investors behind us. And I mean, these are real world investors. We did a 30X in a week and we have held stable from a 30X once we were made known by an investment team. The other side is with GEIS. So I am actually going to be speaking at Miami Consensus 26. I've applied for that with the Solana. There's another thing in Dallas. I'm working to applying currently today to speak there at one of their EarthX conferences. To get involved, follow the social medias, share on X at a bare minimum for GEIS. You can find all these on Plastic CTO, at Plastic CTO on X. Follow each of the partners and just engage. The engagement. Hit a like, write a real comment, tell everybody how pissed off you are about what you're finding out, and say, man, I had no idea. I didn't know about me wearing these clothes was that big of a deal. Let me tell you something else. What about the toilet paper you use? Did you know it's got bleach and plastic in it? Yeah, exactly. We make fun of other countries for using bidets, but we use toilet paper that has my wife, we buy bamboo toilet paper now. Why? Science background, medical background, that part of the male and human body, how do you think it keeps getting in the bloodstream? It's not one time. It's replicated use. So when you go to the bathroom and you're using toilet paper like that, male or female,
you're microdosing plastic.
You nailed it. Always. Constantly. Change your toilet paper. If you don't want to get a bidet, use bamboo toilet paper that has no plastic and it wasn't bleached, because it gets into your bloodstream. That's the most vascular area of the human body.
If I could find a bidet sponsor, we'd definitely be promoting them. I'm a big believer in bidets.
I know one and it's very cheap.
Oh, really? Yeah. I
I'll
spent a
send
few
you the
months
link.
in
It's the one I use,
Bulgaria, and that's where I got into it.
I'll send you a link to one that I found that's cheaper than the ones you can buy in the U.S. market. I'm big on importing. I buy it from manufacturers direct. I found one that was stainless steel for like $35, paid $20 to get it
that ain't
shipped.
bad at all. Nice.
Nope.
All right, well, we
Stainless
got to
steel.
wrap it up here, guys. Check out Plastic. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a day.
Peace.
Yeah, though.
Hello, happy bros. Hey, you're about to get a face full of the Ken Bozak. He's a mentor. That's what I heard. He's a connector. Oh, yeah. He's a brilliant leader. I've seen it. He's Ken Bozak. Oh, happy bro. You gotta get some Bitcoin and hold it. Happy bros. You gotta get those NFTs and you gotta hodl that stuff. You gotta hodl it. 'Cause I'm Ken bro. We got your Bitcoin, bro. He's an original. Buy some NFTs and hold them. How many times does he have to tell you? Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Going to the moon. We're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. 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 Yeah, we're going to the moon. We're going to the moon. Bro, we're going to the moon. Oh yeah, we're going to the moon. We're gonna get real high. Real high. Yep. Real high. Hello, happy bros. Come get your Ken Bozak.